YouTube better check it out, man. We got my Hornets. We got my Hornets. Yo, Hornets. We got the comeback team. We back, baby. Well, are we back? We back, baby. We in the play. We got play in. We got a play in spot. I know that ain't what we want. We want that 5th seed. Wait, do we want that 5th seed? Where'd it go? It goes 6, 7. Oh wait, 6. I hate that. It goes 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we get the 9 seed. We want the 5th seed so we can actually make the playoffs and don't gotta worry about playing in Joe. But hey, 8-game win streak. My boys hooping. We make the play in, bro. And we got home field advantage. I'm going to the game. I don't care what day it is. I'm going to the game. I'm going. Work gonna have to wait. I'm going to the game. If we do make the playoffs, we going to a playoff series, baby. We going to a playoff series, baby. Hey, man, I love my team, bro. I love my team. I'm glad they hooping now. This is the whole different team. Let's get into the video. I can keep yapping about my team all day, every day. I love my team.
The Charlotte Hornets have now won 8 straight games
RCB
and made a big-time trade to bring in Kobe White.
That boy,
in addition, that'll
Mr.
only
White.
make this team even better. To me, this team, if they weren't already, are a lock to make the playoffs. And these are the 4 biggest reasons why. Starting off with
Kobe
the Kobe
White. We got a
because
real
the Charlotte front office
point
just got a
guard.
player they've had their eyes on for years
Off
for
the
basically
bench.
nothing. And don't get me wrong, I liked Colin Sexton.
I love
And
Sexton
I'm
too,
certainly
bro.
not calling him nothing because
Sexton was
there
great,
is more
but
to the story
Kobe
than just
White's
that.
gonna get
What
buckets,
makes
bro.
the deal so crazy is the way Charlotte managed their assets to even get to Kobe White in the first place.
Bro,
They turned Cody Martin and Misic into Yusuf Nurkic and a first-round pick. Then
I'm gonna let him break
they
it down. I'm
turned
gonna let him break it down.
Nurkic into Colin Sexton, and that's what's allowed them to trade Colin Sexton
That
and
boy
2
Jeff,
second-round
Jeff, I
picks
love
for
you, bro.
Kobe
You a
White.
great GM.
They
You
went
be
from
cooking,
2
bro. I
guys who
love
aren't
you.
even in the league anymore to a borderline all-star. So, as good as the team has been on the court, the front office has been quietly cooking as well.
Bro.
And this was easily one of the best trades we saw at the deadline. But now, let's get back on the court. Having Kobe White is huge for the team. By the numbers, he's averaging 18.6 points per game, but the efficiency has been lower than usual, with shooting splits of 44, 35,
Yeah, that's
80
bad,
on the
but
year. The important thing
look.
to remember, though, is how he missed the first 11 games of the season coming back from injury.
Exactly.
So, for a lot of these games, he was just trying to get his legs back under him. But over his final 10
He was
games
giving us
as
buckets.
the
Guess
Chicago
what? You
Bull,
home
he
now.
really
Welcome
started to
home.
get back to his best, giving them 20 points a game
Yup.
on 43,
Yup.
39, 83 shooting, while also dishing out 4.8 assists a game. That's Kobe White really finding his rhythm. And most importantly, it shows you that it's not just a random name. This guy can really play. And adding a guy who's this good fits your timeline.
Not now,
and
baby.
you got him for pennies on the dollar.
We got
I mean,
Kobe
that
White
is
for a
always
bag of
going to be a
chips.
win. But for the Hornets specifically, it's a win because he fits how they play. Kobe
Fast
is
pace.
6'5", plays with a lot more control than Sexton, and because of that, he could theoretically play alongside of LaMelo, really being more of a combo guard without having to shrink that lineup.
That boy Melo
matters
ain't gotta
because
worry about
Charlotte
stressing
has
no
been
more.
leaning into more size and rebounding all year, and they don't want to put out lineups that are too small. Kobe is also a real go-to-bucket type player,
That's why I
which
love
is
that. I
something
love
the
that
Hornets
trade,
have
bro.
struggled with.
We
at
don't have a
points in the
go-getter
year,
on the
especially
bench.
coming out of timeouts or when the game slows down in the half court.
Yep.
When you've got someone to steady the ship in those big moments, it changes how serious you feel about a team late in games. And if we're talking about offense, the spacing upgrade is massive. Sexton may have been the better three-point shooter by percentage, but he wasn't the high-volume three-point shooter that Kobe White is.
Yep.
They've already got LaMelo, Brandon, and Con, 3 guys who
guys
are
will
ready
pull
to
threes.
fire
Yep.
away from deep whenever they're open. And with
Kobe.
this trade, you just added another. That changes the geometry of the floor and how defenses have to now guard the Hornets. Because you're you're going to have multiple guys on the floor at all times who aren't
Bro,
going to hesitate
we like
even a little bit if they get
2016
any
Warriors,
kind of
bro. You
daylight.
leave somebody
and
open.
The best part is how Kobe is on an
So,
expiring deal, which keeps the
guess
door
what?
open even if his fit actually doesn't work. But if it does work, you
re-signing him.
traded for him before he hits free agency. So you're going to have his bird rights, allowing you to offer him more money than the other teams can. Clearly putting the Charlotte Hornets in the driver's seat. That's why
Not now,
I
baby.
really do love the move, because it shows you that this front
boy be
office
pulling.
is serious. But they didn't actually go all in yet. This is a win now postseason type move. But they didn't
bro.
have
We're
to
gonna-
burn any valuable assets or force themselves into some kind of long-term commitment
Nope.
that they can't escape. Instead, they get a young, valuable upgrade on an expiring deal where it's basically a tryout. And if they love him, the Hornets are in the
Man,
inside
he ain't played a
position
game
to
yet and
keep
already
him
love
long-term.
Kobe.
Overall, it's a masterstroke by the front office. And for a team that's now on an 8-game winning streak,
I was gonna hope we
it's
get
the
Lonzo
perfect
Ball,
reward for the
but
group.
Lonzo's going to the
second
Warriors.
reason as to why
Ooh,
I
look
have
at
the
Melo.
Hornets as a lock to play playoff basketball is how good the backcourt of Concaniple and LaMelo Ball have been
Them
during
boys
the run.
hooping.
A big
I love them
reason
boys.
For the Hornets starting five
Knock that
now
down for
having
me,
a
Melo.
14-1 record and leading the NBA in net rating for any 5-man lineup is because of these
Them
two.
boys,
Now,
Melo
there are obviously other
and Con
reasons
be
as well,
shooting
and I'm
it
going to
out.
get into them in a bit. But what this backcourt has been able to do has been unreal. This isn't even some tiny sample anymore, because the numbers have been ridiculous all season long. Whenever Concaniple and LaMelo Ball share the floor, Charlotte has a plus 8.9 net rating
Holy
in
crap.
the 90th percentile.
These the
a
advanced stats I be talking about, Lil
124.9
Maury.
offensive rating in the 97th percentile,
Knock that down.
and they're generating clean looks with a 57.7 effective field goal percentage, putting them in the 93rd percentile for a lineup. With LaMelo running the offense and Con making anyone who helps off of him pay with that 3-point shot, the combination has been a nightmare for defenses. And the big thing that's made it even harder is one specific action that they've kept going back to: ghost screens. It's simple. Con comes up like
Ghost
going
screens
to
are
set the
amazing,
screen
bro.
for
You gonna
LaMelo,
set it, but nope.
and then
off
slips
of
out
it.
into space behind
I
the
love
three-point
ghost screens,
line.
bro.
The
I love
threat of Con getting an open shot forces defenses to panic, as it's basically been turning into a pick-your-own-poison type setup. Either LaMelo
either
gets a
take
driving
Melo,
lane,
or
or
you gonna
Con
take
gets
Con.
an
You
open
can't
three.
take both.
And the worst part about it for opposing teams is how Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges are out there as well. So if you're trying to
My
send
boy,
help, that really
RTD.
isn't a good option. Even when Con isn't even faking a screen, he'll just run right around LaMelo,
Yep,
and it
and
just
knock it down.
creates so much confusion, still having a very similar effect. It's been working over and over again, and it's a big reason as to why this pairing is so deadly. And really quick, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could just like the video.
I got
That
you, my
helps
boy.
push this video out to more people and lets the
see
algorithm
me
know
like it, but I
that this
just did.
video is worth sharing. It genuinely makes a big difference, so if you did, thank you. Now, Con is obviously a massive reason as to why it works because of his shooting gravity.
That boy
He's
Con is
officially
gonna
tied
turn into the
Steph
best
Curry's
shooter in the
rookie
league,
three-point
bro.
shooting record for
He a
full
real
season,
hooper.
just 50 games into his rookie year. And I mean, that is an absurd accomplishment. And the crazy part about it is how he hasn't just
I can't.
tied it. He's going to blow it out of the water. And this is only year one. He's going to get more comfortable. He's
I can't
going
wait
to get
to see Con
stronger.
play in
and
person,
as
bro.
I said in a previous video, this is probably the worst version we're going to see from Concaniple. Because
This is the
isn't
worst
just
version we're
the
gonna see of
three-point
Con,
shooting.
bro.
He's
He's gonna
also
get way
attacking
better.
off the dribble, getting into the mid-range area, and knocking down some genuinely tough shots. In that win over the Rockets, he hit a couple tough
didn't get to watch
shots
this
where
game.
you could tell the look was hard, but he made it feel easy because he stayed so calm, using footwork and a high release to get off the shot. And for LaMelo, it's always a bit of a roller coaster with him. But this season, I think he's just been more under control, playing some of the best basketball of his
Mellow
career.
dip, baby.
He's doing a far better
Take him
job
to school.
at
Take
reading
him
the
to church.
game and knowing when to feed
Airbnb.
guys and when to go shot hunting himself. Against the Mavericks, he came out and got everybody involved early.
did, bro.
Notice
He
that
was
Con had the
throwing
hot
the ball
hand,
everywhere.
and
That boy
he
Con,
just continued to
it was
feed him.
better of the
Then,
rookies that
after
game.
halftime, with Con absolutely red hot, knowing the Mavericks were going to make an adjustment, LaMelo came
Melo
out
took
with
over.
his foot on the gas, looking to score himself. And it completely
I need to get me
threw
a
off the
regular
Dallas
Melo
defense.
jersey, bro. I got the City
That
Connect
kind
one. I
of
need to get
feel
the
for
regular
the
one.
game is why he's been so good, and it's why this offense looks more organized when he's out there. Just with LaMelo in the game, the Hornets have a 9.2 net rating, which is in the 90th percentile, along
That
with a
boy hard.
124.9 offensive rating in the 97th
Airbnb.
percentile. But when you take him out of the game, that
Yeah,
drops
when Melo
to
comes out the
minus
game, bro, oh my
4.9
God,
net
bro,
rating
like,
in
we,
the
like,
28th
suck.
percentile.
That's why I'm
And
glad we
the
got Kobe
offense
White,
falls off a
'cause
cliff down
Kobe
to
White
a
will-
111.1
yeah, we'll
offensive rating
get these
in
ratings
the
up.
19th percentile.
Melo ain't gotta
LaMelo
stress
Ball
out.
is the engine, and the idea that he's just some flashy player that doesn't actually impact winning has to be thrown out the window at this point. A big reason this has all clicked is the way Coach Charles Lee has leaned heavily into a three-point shooting offense that fits this roster so perfectly. The Hornets take the 5th most amount of
That would
threes
take the
per
5th?
game this season at 41.1.
crazy. You
And
be
in
shooting that thing
fact,
twin.
43% of their field goal attempts this season have been from behind the arc.
What we shooting-
That
what's
plays
our three-point
right
percent?
into LaMelo's skill set because it gives him simple reads and clear spacing. It also helps them live in the corners. And
Run that down
they're
for me,
cashing
Melo.
in on those looks, hitting
We hit
42.7%
40
on the corner threes
That's
this
hard,
season
bro. We
as a
always
unit,
open in the
which
corner.
is the 4th best mark in the NBA. Last season, they were
Holy
25th
crap, we was
at
31.
37%.
37%.
So that is a massive swing. Corner threes are one of the easiest shots on the floor. So building an offense that creates those looks is just a smart decision, especially when you've got the collection of talent that the Hornets do. And now it's going to fit
you add that
even
boy
better
Kobe
with
White.
the addition of Kobe White, who's going to be able to come off the bench, act as a supercharged
Good
six-man
luck.
for this group, and let it fly whenever he gets even a little bit of daylight. But the third reason that I have
Give me
the
that weak
Hornets
shit,
as a
nigga.
lock for the postseason is how their decision to lean into size and rebounding has given them a legit backbone. Rebounding does not get talked about enough just because it is
That
as
boy
flashy as
Biebs.
offense or
Hey, hold on.
defense.
Yo, Lil Amari. Stop disrespecting my boy Musa Diabate. That's how you pronounce his name. Musa Diabate. I'm saying one more time for you. Musa Diabate. Stop disrespecting him, bro. That boy a hooper.
But you simply cannot
If you
be
need it, if you want to call him by his nickname Moose, call him by his nickname Moose.
a great team in this league if you don't at least rebound at
Not
an
only
average
we
rate.
got Moose, bro,
Rebounding
we
the
got that
ball
boy Ryan.
raises your
Ryan is
floor
huge,
because
bro.
you end possessions.
Not only we got
And
Ryan,
it
bro, we
stops
got
teams from
RTB,
getting
Miles
those
Bridges,
easy
bro.
second chance
He
points
get
that can
down there
swing
too.
games. And the Hornets have been reaping the benefits of this all season long
Good shot, baby.
because they rank #1 in the
Number
NBA
one in
for
offensive
limiting
rebounds?
opponent
Oh, no.
offensive rebounds.
Oh, limiting.
only
I didn't see the
allowing
OPP.
26.3%
That's
of
fire.
the time. And the game
Yo,
against
what?
Houston was a perfect example as to why this does matter. The Rockets are the #1 offensive rebounding team in the NBA this season, and in fact,
How many
they're
rebounds
one of
we
the
give
very best in league history, grabbing an offensive rebound
supposed to be
on
at this game.
39% of their misses, which is insane. They usually pull down 16 offensive rebounds a game, but the Hornets held them to 12.
Don't we
Now,
have them to 12
is
offensive
still
rebounds?
a pretty high number for most of the other teams in the NBA, but for the
Nah,
Rockets, that's a big drop
yeah.
off because so much of their offense comes from those second chances and the clean looks that follow. Without those easy second chance shots that the Rockets usually get, they just couldn't find enough offense, as Houston finished with just 99 points. Charlotte basically suffocated them by making sure
So
possessions
we just pull up for
ended
3 in
the first
transition.
time
We
round.
hard.
And the main guy who's been holding it down all season is Musa Diabate, who's averaging 8.5 rebounds a game in just 25 minutes a night.
That boy
Miles
hooping.
Bridges
Miles
has
got like
also
6,
been
yup.
huge, averaging 6.1 rebounds a game. And honestly, I think he's been really under the radar this season because he's also giving them 18.3 points a game on 52.
Miles, well, I'll take that back. Miles is under the radar for the league, bro. But for me, I know Miles been hooping, bro. He been playing like he's playing like his expired contract year, bro. But with a little less points. He's playing like he's on his last deal. I forgot what year he was on his last deal, but he's playing like that again, which I'm perfectly happy with because he's hooping.
I mean, that is real impact all over the floor, not just empty numbers. But it isn't just those two either. It's the size that this Hornets team has all over the floor. At the point, you've got a 6'7" LaMelo Ball, who's usually taller than his matchup.
Yep.
Then you've got the 6'6" Con Knipple and Brandon Miller, who's listed at 6'7", but
Brandon
he's
Miller like
definitely closer to
6'8".
6'9". When you have that kind of size literally everywhere, you force
Miles
teams
like
into a lot of
6'9",
one-and-done
6'8".
possessions. And that's a big reason as to why
And
the
Musa
defense
like,
has
I
just
think
been
like
so
6'11".
good. Since the new year, the
6'10".
Charlotte Hornets have a better defensive rating than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Sorry. Yo, this is a Lakers clip. Little Maury.
Big reason as to why the defense has just been so good.
Dude,
Since the new year, the Charlotte Hornets have a better defensive rating than the Oklahoma City Thunder, sitting third in the NBA with a 108.7.
Yo, that's
rating.
fire.
That
I did not know we were playing D. Well,
E-
yeah, we've been playing D the last 8 games, but we held like teams under 100 points for like, I think 3 games.
Either. We're talking about 4.5 weeks of elite basketball. When you're playing top 3 offense and you're ending possessions on the other end, helping to bolster a top 3 defense, that to me is when a streak stops just being all about luck and starts being just who you are at this point. But the fourth reason as to why I have the Hornets as a playoff lock this season is because of how Brandon Miller continues to raise the ceiling for the entire group. This team scraps for
broke his wrist last year.
And
he hooping this year, bro. I love that boy Brandon Miller, bro.
But the truth is,
a real
you still
hooper.
need moments where one guy stands up and puts
That
an
boy
offensive
Brandon Miller will
chokehold
step
on the game.
up
And
when
since
we
the
down.
new year, Brandon Miller has been that guy for the Hornets over and
I love
over
that boy
again.
Brandon
When
Miller,
things
bro.
get messed or the other
He
team
getting that
goes on
mini
a run, it's
knockdown,
been
bro.
Brandon Miller who settles it down and gets
off
the
the
team
screen,
back on track.
knockdown.
Over the last 10 games
That
in
boy been
particular,
hooping the
he's
last
been
10.
averaging 23.7 points a game, along with 5.8 rebounds on 65% true shooting. And he's been a plus 13
Take that
in
off of him.
range. He's giving them real go get us a bucket type production. And the truth is, every playoff team needs someone like this. And it isn't just about the points.
We got
It's
real
the
hoopers
type
on our
of
team,
looks
bro.
he's
We got
making.
real
On his
hoopers.
crafted NBA offensive
Like-
scouting report, he's in the 89th percentile for shot quality, which tells you the shots he's making aren't necessarily easy, but he's still
he
knocking them
hitting
down at a great rate. He's also in the 89th percentile for
I don't know
offensive
what
load
load is.
and in the 86th percentile for both creation
that's hard,
and
bro.
portability, which basically
real
shows
hooper.
us that he's able to carry possessions, create
Take
at a
over.
high level for others, and fit perfectly into any lineup that Charlotte wants to throw out there. And when you add it all up, his offensive crafted plus minus is in the 82nd percentile. So his impact is certainly
his
matching
impact
the eye test. And
matters.
what makes it even scarier is how he's giving you all of that on offense while also being one of their best defenders as well. Brandon Miller has a 7-foot wingspan, so he's super disruptive and he can bother shots in a way that
Take that
most
off of him.
scorers
Yup.
can't. At the rim, opponents are shooting 7.3% worse against him, which puts him in the 84th percentile for rim defense. And he's not
Look at that
doing
rim
that on some
frequency, bro.
small roll either, because he's in the 93rd percentile for rim defensive frequency, meaning he's defending at the rim a lot as well. Those are crazy numbers for your
I'm
best
trying to see what the other
offensive
stats
player,
say.
as he's legitimately been one of their best defenders
Good
as
D,
well.
baby.
And for me, that's a massive reason as to why I feel like this Charlotte Hornets team are truly building something
next
real.
up.
And speaking of young two-way stars,
That boy
Cooper
Cooper
Flag
Flag a
has
hooper
been
too.
doing
I
a
love him.
very similar thing recently. And over his last 3 games,
Hey man, just want to say, bro, Hornets basketball is back, baby. I hope for my Hornets fans, bro, I hope y'all enjoying the season. I hope I get to see as many of y'all as I can when the play-in come, and we got that home field advantage. I'm going to the game, bro. We're going to be lit out that jump. Hey, man. YouTube, my friends. People have friends on YouTube. We get at y'all on the next one.